Only 17 days until Iowa, and the GOP presidential contenders ratcheted up their battle for the nomination last night in Charleston. There's a ton to react to, so let's begin with one of the most dramatic exchanges of the night when Ted Cruz turns the tables on Donald Trump over the issue of his citizenship.
The birther theories that Donald has been relying on, some of the more extreme ones insist that you must not only be born on U.S. soil, but have two parents born on U.S. soil. Under that theory, not only would I be disqualified, Marco Rubio would be disqualified, Bobby Jindal would be disqualified, and interestingly enough, Donald J. Trump would be disqualified. Donald's mother was born in Scotland. She was naturalized. Now, Donald,
but I was born here.
You're an American, as is everybody else on this stage, and I would suggest we focus on who's best prepared to be commander-in-chief, because that's the most important question facing the country.
All right, so I was in the hall last night, and I have to say that was the moment I thought that the debate really started to take off. It was like the starter pistol was the official when they started talking, Maria Bartiromo and Neil Cavuto, who did a great job for Fox Business. The hall was packed. It was sold out. And so Ted Cruz comes out. Everybody was expecting that big fight. Did you like it?
I love this debate. It was like a saloon in the 1870s where the fighters were pairing off and beating each other up. And who knew Donald Trump was an anchor baby? I thought it was great. And I have to give Trump credit for admitting he instigated the birther attack because Cruz was gaining popularity. That's why you like Trump, is because he's not, unlike other politicians, he won't deny what he's trying to achieve. But the interesting thing here is you have a man born in Canada of Cuban descent, and a man who lived the American dream, Donald Trump, whose mom was born in Scotland, arguing over who no longer is welcome in this lifeboat called America.
Yeah.
I think that's way overstating it, Greg.
How so?
Because the issue is the difference between a citizen and a natural-born citizen. Why does the Constitution, why did these documents, the Naturalization Act of 1790 and 95, why do they have phrases like natural-born in them? To distinguish between a citizen, a mere citizen, us, and a natural-born citizen, that special category, again, in this table, us, who could run for president of the United States. I think Trump has his Achilles heel. I think this is his belt buckle. Dr. Ben Carson, the beginning of the end of the Cruz campaign. I think that this is huge.
Wow.
And
really?
I think that it is an
I didn't know where you were
issue.
going with this.
I felt like Trump was going to drop it after that. What do you think?
I think he will drop it. I'm not sure. Look,
other people aren't going to.
I was trying to follow Cruz's logic, okay? So under the logic of Donald Trump, then he himself wouldn't even be eligible to run for president because
he true.
No, I'm saying what Cruz said last night. I couldn't figure out where he was going with it, because in the way that would have to play out is that Trump's logic is he used a lawyer who, that lawyer also thinks that both parents of the candidate have to be born on U.S. soil, but that's not what Trump was saying. Trump was saying you personally need to be born on U.S. soil.
I know, but if you're using tribe as your
mother has to be a citizen.
Lawrence Tribe is the lawyer that they're referring to. I don't. Do you think that this is all like something we should just like put to bed, move on, talk about the real issues?
I think that yeah, we should certainly talk about the substantive issues. But if there is a legal or constitutional question, that should be addressed as well. Cruz is obviously a very smart constitutional lawyer, and I think he feels very certain and confident that he is well within his rights to be able to seek the office of the presidency of the United States and receive a nomination and run and potentially win. So voters are going to have to decide what matters to them, substance or other issues like this that they feel uncertain about, that perhaps doesn't make them as comfortable if we're deciding between two people. If they're deciding between Trump and Cruz, they're deciding between Rubio. Who knows? Maybe it's a view on foreign policy.
Trump's point is not about voters. Trump's point is about the court. This issue has never been resolved by the federal courts of the United States.
And you feel it should go
What does natural-born mean has never been decided by a U.S. court. It must be decided. This is not about the voters. This is about the eligibility of a leading candidate to be president of the United States, the office he seeks.
We've actually now spent more time on this than they did last night on the debate. So we're going to move on because this is considered one of Donald Trump's best moments from the night. Earlier this week, Ted Cruz took a dig at Trump, saying that he embodies, quote, New York values. Maria Bartiromo asked him what he meant by that last night, and here's what happened.
I think most people know exactly what New York values are.
I am from New York.
Well, you're from New York, so you might not. But I promise you in the state of South Carolina, they do. Everyone understands that the values in New York City are socially liberal or pro-abortion or pro-gay marriage, focused around money and the media.
When the World Trade Center came down, I saw something that no place on earth could have handled more beautifully, more humanely than New York. We saw more death, and even the smell of death. Nobody understood it. We rebuilt downtown Manhattan, and everybody in the world watched, and everybody in the world loved New York and loved New Yorkers. And I have to tell you, that was a very insulting statement that Ted made.
One of the most effective things I thought about what Donald Trump did there was that he didn't raise his voice, right? So he didn't get mad. But New York values is kind of like the shorthand for what you say when you're in Iowa and when you're trying to talk about your opponent who might be from New York. Maybe to me this has all gotten a little bit out of hand, but people seem to like it.
Well, you know what he did? What CRUZ did? He mirrored Obama. Obama, remember he said, these people cling to guns in the Bible, cling to guns in religion. CRUZ said you cling to your abortions and your gay rights. And so it was exactly that kind of thing which was condescending. But what you're seeing here is Batman and Robin have finally split up. And what CRUZ was trying to do was target Trump's impure credentials as a right-winger. But that's actually to Trump's benefit because he is untethered to ideology, and that is why he is refreshing.
All right, what do you think, KG?
Untethered to ideology, and that is why he is refreshing. Well stated. You know, I found the debates in general very good last night. I thought that Trump, like you said, the tone that he used and his delivery was quite effective. He's getting better even at, at doing this in terms of matching sort of the rhetoric and the measure of what's being said there when you're especially dealing with a, expert debater like CRUZ. I don't know. I thought this was really good for the viewers and the voters to be able to see, to be able to make some choices. But I'll tell you what, the people that I thought did the best so far, was Trump, CRUZ, Rubio. I thought they were all very good.
And we have some Rubio sound coming up. Do you want to comment on New York values?
Yeah, I think what we saw was Donald Trump becoming a good politician, too. He's always had the skill of getting people to pay attention to him, to listen to him, to see him, to join in if they're fed up and they're tired of the establishment. But and I mentioned it yesterday, with the attack on what could have been a body blow, a harsh blow to Donald Trump, as you point out, everywhere outside of New York, people kind of hate New York. He turned it. He was in true political pro form, turned it into a win for himself, at least temporarily. And now the gentleman to my right is going to come up with some crazy, wacky conspiracy theory, which I just have to preempt with. I cannot ascribe to that. I'm shocked.
This is a conspiracy theory even you will not
even one that I can't even
All right,
go anywhere.
hit it.
You remember Jesse Jackson, 1984, Hymietown. He says Hymietown about New York City. It is the end of Jesse Jackson as a serious candidate. You cannot generalize with the undertone of whether it's anti-Semitism or anti-immigrant.
How is saying New York values an anti-Semitic comment?
Doesn't it remind you of John Rocker? Remember when John Rocker...
Are you suggesting everyone in New York is Jewish?
I am absolutely suggesting that when you say New York values, that is a laden expression that has deep meaning, that it goes far beyond the geographic.
I think he meant left-wing, Geraldo. I think he meant left-wing.
And I do as well.
What about, remember John Rocker, the relief pitcher? He goes on the subway, he says,
does anyone think that was a
where
nice
am I?
thing
What
to
country
say?
am I in? He never, he played in New York. He was finished from that day on. You can't insult the world's greatest city, the capital.
And I don't know that everybody, I think people like New Yorkers.
You can insult New York, especially if you're a GOPer, because there's no one who ever thinks that they're going to win New York.
I am a Manhattan Republican.
There's no Republican will ever win in New York.
I am a Manhattan registered Republican.
A liberal Republican.
And when I go to some of those meetings, those people...
What's he doing in that chair?
Their hair would stand on it.
You can just claim to be a Republican and say, I'm a Republican.
He is a Republican.
No, I know he's registered that way, but doesn't mean you're a Republican.
Which is what was Ted Cruz's point. That was the thing that he was trying to say. Let's move on to one more thing. Rubio Cruz immigration war heated up last night, with Rubio pointing out some inconsistencies in Cruz's record.
Ted Cruz, you used to say you supported doubling the number of green cards. Now you say that you're against it. You used to support a 500% increase in the number of guest workers. Now you say that you're against it. You used to support legalizing people that were here illegally. Now you say you're against it. You used to say that you were in favor of birthright citizenship. Now you say that you are against it. And by the way, it's not just on immigration. You used to support TPA. Now you say you're against it. I saw you on the Senate floor flip your vote on crop insurance because they told you it would help you in Iowa. And last week we all saw you flip your vote on ethanol in Iowa for the same reason.
I appreciate your dumping your Oppo research folder on the debate
No, it's your
stage.
record.
That was great, and that happened towards right off the end of the debate. It's like when you don't want to leave a game too early. You don't want to leave a debate too early because some of the best lines were there.
The best part about that is CRUZ's response when he said, wait, only half of that is wrong, but it does speak to a larger criticism that maybe CRUZ is more of an opportunist driven by ambition than many people might be aware of.
Duh.
Your smartest response.
I think that is, you have witnessed the apogee. Is apogee the highest? The zenith of the CRUZ arc. Now it's all downhill from here. You heard it here first.
All right. Well, I do think that CRUZ was able to separate himself out from some of the others.